Hey everyone, welcome back to our SwiftUI series, and today we're going to be taking a look at YouTube and YouTube embeds within our apps. So what we're going to be covering, how to embed YouTube videos in SwiftUI using WKWebView. We're also going to display YouTube playlists dynamically. We're going to customize the video experience with UI elements, and I'll even show you how to open YouTube videos in the official YouTube app. If we take a look at some of the videos here, I just added 3 from my channel. We can go ahead and press on these, and we can see that we have the video that's currently embedded. We can press play. Oh, hey, look, that's me. I have the sound muted, but currently I'm talking. We can even see we have the controls here. We can scrub through the video, which is great. We can go back here. We can even press the watch on YouTube button. Because I don't have the YouTube app installed on the simulator, it's just going to open it up in Safari here. So by the end, you'll have a fully functional YouTube video viewer within your SwiftUI app. So let's say you're creating an app. Let's say maybe it's a health and fitness app and you want to show people how to do certain workouts, right? You can embed those YouTube videos directly into the app, whether that's something you've created or other content creators. But this allows you to very easily embed YouTube videos in your SwiftUI app. Let's go ahead and recreate this and dive on in. Alrighty, as always, I'm going to be starting from scratch, but if you want to add this to your own project, feel free to do so. I'm going to be doing the iOS app template, and let's call this YouTube embed example. I'm just going to call mine number 2 because I already have one. And on the interface SwiftUI, language Swift, testing, and storage are both going to be set to none. Go ahead next and create a project. Alrighty, so since SwiftUI actually does not have a built-in web view, we're going to use WKWebView to embed videos. Something to also note is we can't use AV Foundation. So let's go ahead and import this first. We're going to import WebKit. So why are we using WebKit view? Well, this is the easiest way to support embedded YouTube videos without third-party libraries. It also supports autoplay, full screen, and inline playback, and it works seamlessly inside SwiftUI. Unfortunately, AV Foundation does not have that support when we're embedding videos. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new empty file here, and let's go ahead and call this YouTubeEmbedView. All right, and we're going to go ahead and import SwiftUI. We're also going to once again be importing our WebKit, and we're going to create a structure here, and we're going to call it YouTubeEmbedView, and this is going to conform to the UI view representable. We're going to go ahead and add our brace, and we're going to add some code. I'm just going to go and really quickly add a comment here. So this is going to be a SwiftUI wrapper for WKWebView to embed our YouTube videos. Wonderful. So within this structure, we need to have a video ID. So we're going to say let video ID, and this is going to be a string. So this is going to be our YouTube video IDs. This is not the full URL, however. We're just going to be grabbing the IDs. If you don't know how to grab the ID, it's basically after the slash, but I'll show you an example in just a few minutes. All right, next we're going to create a function. We're going to say make UI view. We're then going to just use the autofill, and we're going to have our context here. But instead of the sum UI view, we're going to replace this to be the WK Web View. All right, and within our code placeholder, we're going to go ahead and say let web view equals WK Web View. We're going to have empty brackets as well. Then we're going to do WebView dot scroll view dot is scroll enabled. We're going to set this to be false. This is going to disable any scroll. And then we're going to return the web view. When we think of web view, this is kind of things like, websites, right? And natively, websites typically allow us to scroll up and down. We don't want that to be the case with our kind of static YouTube videos here. So we're going to go ahead and disable that. Next, we're going to hop on out of this brace, and we're going to create a function. This is going to load the YouTube video into the web view. So we're going to create a function that says update UI view. I'm going to use the autofill feature here once again. So within the brackets underscore UI view, we're going to instead replace this with web view. Everything else can remain the same. And within our code here, we're going to be actually using a little bit of HTML. So here I am thinking, oh my gosh, the HTML I learned in high school probably won't be that relevant, surely, right? Well, I'm using in-source coding. What a day to be alive. So we're going to say let embed HTML equals, and then we're going to do 3 kind of quotation marks like we do for the strings. We're then going to go to the next line. We're going to have a whole bunch of errors until we wrap this up. But we're going to go ahead and add HTML. Yeah, this is taking me back. On the next line, we're going to add the body, and we can even add some style, which equals margin. Let's have this be 0. Nostalgic. For the 0, we'll add our semicolon. Set our padding to also be 0. Add our semicolon. Then we're going to wrap that on up. We can then add an iframe with a width. Have this equal 100%. Then those kind of quotation marks, height. This will also equal 100%. We're gonna have an src, and this is going to essentially equal our like kind of prefix when we think of it this way. So we're going to reference the youtube.com embed, and then we're going to interpolate the video ID, and then we're going to also kind of have that framing and allow it to go into full screen. So this is going to equal https www.youtube.com/embed there we go, slash, and then we're going to do string interpolation here, so /. This is where we're going to then include our video ID. We're going to add a question mark here. Plays in line equals 1. Wonderful. Outside of this quotation mark, we're then going to do frame border, one word, equals 0. After that, allow full screen. Go ahead and close off that angled bracket, and then we're also going to close off with the /i frame here. Cool. Let's also close off the body here. So we'll do our angled bracket /body, and then also close off our HTML. What a time to be in live using HTML. Okay, then we're going to add our 3 quotation marks once again, because we're kind of just making this massive multi-line string, and now we're closing it off. Afterwards, we're going to say WebView dot load HTML string. We're going to use our autocomplete feature here, and we're going to reference our embed HTML we created above. And for the base URL, we're just going to set this to be nil. So this allows us to use the web view, and we're going to be using this for our HTML. It's pretty fun to be using this again. So now let's go ahead and go back to our content view. And we're going to be creating a structure for our YouTube videos in order to represent that as an item. This is going to represent a YouTube video item. So we're going to create a structure here, and you can do this in an empty Swift file if it's easier for you. But we're going to essentially say YouTube video, and this is going to be identifiable. So if you remember before, when we have our identifiable, we need to create an ID. So let's have this ID equals, we can use UUID, that's probably the easiest here. Also want to have a title, and we can set this to just be a string value. And we'll also want the video ID, which is also going to be a string value. So this is unique YouTube video IDs. So we can link to this, right? And that's also what we're interpolating in that HTML URL. Okay, and now let's also create a structure here. So create struct, and we'll call this one YouTube video list. This one's not going to conform to anything, and we can create a static let. And let's have a videos, and this will be an array. So this is going to equal those square brackets. And in here, we can use our YouTube video struct here. Let's go ahead and start typing out YouTube video. where we have the title and the video ID, we don't need to pass it a UUID. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some videos from my channel. If you want to grab some from your channel or copy and paste, right? Maybe there's some of your favorite YouTube videos. Alrighty, I'm on my YouTube channel. So you can either go to the kind of three dots here and press the share button. And what we're going to be doing is grabbing the ID, basically anything after, see where the slash is, where it's like YouTube slash. This is the video ID. So we can highlight this, Command C. Let's pop back over in Xcode, and we can paste in the string here. So I'm just gonna add my quotation marks because it's a string, and that's the video ID. I'm just gonna go ahead and copy the title as well. So title, let's add quotation marks, just like that. We're gonna add a comma, and we can add some more YouTube videos with the title and ID. Just watching and you're not on the person's channel, there is the share button under the videos, and you'll see we still get that option for the unique ID. Let's go ahead and copy and paste this one into Xcode as well. The ID, and we can grab this for the title. So add our quotation marks and paste, add a comma, and let's go ahead and add one more. I'm going to go ahead and just do the health kit app one. So YouTube video, the video ID, so we should be all good to go there. So now in our content view, let's go down here. Under the structure, we're going to go ahead and say let, and these are going to be our videos. And it's just going to equal our YouTube video list. And we're just going to grab the dot videos, right? That static let we had here. So this videos is just going to be referencing that list that we've created. Alrighty, let's take our VStack. We can go ahead and right click it and let's embed. And for this container, we're going to do a navigation stack. Actually, no, let's go ahead and get rid of the VStack, but we can keep the navigation stack, get rid of that padding too. And we're gonna go ahead and include a list. And this list is going to be our videos. Outside of that bracket, we're going to say video singular. Create some space here. We're going to have a navigation link, and the destination is going to go ahead and be that YouTube detail view. Now we haven't created this yet, but within the parameters, we are going to be passing through the YouTube video. So we're just going to do video:video. Now we're going to get that error. That's totally fine. Outside of these brackets, we're going to add a brace, and there we're just going to add an H stack and another brace. Here we can add like the play button. So let's go to our SF images. Let's see if we have one. We can do the play, maybe play circle.fill. I'm going to do the play square.fill and just drag and drop that into our H stack. Let's add the foreground style, and let's set this to be red. So that's going to update the color. And let's add the font to be large title. It is an SF image, so we can change the size with font. If you want to add a frame, feel free to do so. We'll then add a VStack, and let's add the alignment to be dot leading. And we don't need this content here. Let's go ahead and delete that. And we'll add a brace. And here we'll add the text for the video title. So for that one, we can just do video.title. And let's change this font to be headline. Now we're not going to be seeing these changes in real time currently. This is something, once we create the YouTube detail view, we should be able to see. And we're also going to add some text here. And we'll have this say tap to watch. And let's set this foreground style to be gray. And maybe the font, let's do subheadline. Subheadline. Cool, and within the navigation stack, let's go ahead and add a dot navigation title, and this will be, YouTube videos maybe. If you want this for like tutorials and things like that, feel free to do so. Okay, we need to create a new SwiftUI file, so let's create one from template. SwiftUI view, YouTubeDetailView. Coolio. So let's go ahead and get rid of this placeholder text, and under this structure, we're going to say let video, because this is something we're passing through, be YouTube video. Alrighty, and we can add a VStack within here, and let's add some text here, and this is going to be the video.title. We can also add some font. Since it is the title, let's make it the title. Now we can bold it. We can add some padding. Right? You can style this however you'd like. But the main important thing here is we're going to be using the YouTubeEmbedView. And here we're going to have the video ID, which is just going to be the video.video ID. And here we're going to add a frame. So in my case, I was doing the height to be 250. You can adjust this number. This might make for better or worse viewing, but essentially we're embedding the YouTube video here, and then we're adjusting the height. We're also going to be using a spacer here to kind of push everything up. Wonderful. Let's add a navigation title here. So we're navigating, and we're going to say playing video. And we're also going to have our navigation bar title display mode. And we're going to change this to be .inline. If you do want to fix your preview within this view, you can go ahead and insert the YouTube video here. However, I don't really care for the preview for this, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. If we go back to our content view, you can see we have all of our videos from the list, and we should be able to press on them and be taken to the appropriate video. And we can see exactly that is happening. Wonderful. We even see we can press it in the preview here. Hey, that's me. And we have all of our YouTube options here because of our HTML code, which is pretty cool. So why are we using this detail view? Well, it allows users to select videos from a list and navigate smoothly. It also provides a clean full screen experience for watching any videos. Okay, cool. Let's talk about opening the YouTube videos in the video app or Safari as a fallback. Because currently, yes, we can watch them within the app when we have a connection, but what if we want to actually watch on YouTube, subscribe, like, leave comments and things like that. Let's hop back over to our YouTube detail view over here, and we're going to add a button. So before our spacer, but after our embed view, let's go ahead and add that button. And we're going to add an action here. And we're going to say this is open YouTube app. Now, we don't currently have this function built, and we'll be building it in just a moment. But let's go ahead and quickly add our label. We'll say watch on YouTube. We can even add a system image here. I think before we had the play.square.fill. Let's do the circle.fill. We can add the foreground style. Let's have this one be blue. We can add some font as well. I'm going to do .title2. So let's go ahead and create a private function down here. So pretty much all the way at the bottom, we're going to make sure we're staying within that last brace. A private func, and we're going to do open YouTube app. Don't need anything within the parameters, but we are going to be grabbing a URL. So we're going to say let URL equals URL. We have a string here, which is going to be YouTube youtube.com/v equals, and then we're going to interpolate the video.video ID, and we're going to use our exclamation point there. Right, if UI application dot shared dot can open URL. We're just going to put the URL within those parameters. We're then going to add a brace. UI application dot shared dot open. We're going to choose the second one here with the URL. We're just going to replace that with the URL again. So it's grabbing it from that let URL, which is the kind of YouTube.com watch ID. And this is essentially going to open YouTube app if installed. At the end of this if statement, we're going to add an else, the brace here, and we're going to UI application dot shared dot open. It's like the second one again. We're going to do capital URL here. Then we're going to add a string, and you can go ahead and just copy and paste the string we've put above here. And then in between these two brackets here, we're going to add a exclamation point. So this is essentially going to open Safari if app isn't installed. So now users can choose where to watch the videos, whether that's in your app, if they're going to open it on YouTube, leave comments, etc. So let's go ahead and launch our app. Alrighty, we have our YouTube videos. Let's click this one in the middle here. We can see that it is going to embed in just a second. My internet is not the greatest, unfortunately. We have our title up here. We have the option to press play. We can even see that it does go full screen. If we go ahead and rotate the device, we can see that it does update. Going for a little trip there. Go ahead and exit out of this. We can then also watch on YouTube. Oh, I made an error, unfortunately. This string here is not YouTube. This one would be HTTPS. Okay, hold on. Let's go ahead and restart that real quick. So we shouldn't have exactly copied and pasted it. Well, we could. We just had to change that one little thing. Okay, now if we press the watch on YouTube, okay, we can see that it is opening up in Safari. And we can see the video right here. Perfect stuff. If you want to go back, you can press that error. Sorry about that. Okay, cool. We can navigate to and from. We have our nice little list here, which is scrollable. So this is something I've just built a sample app in, but adding it to a page in your app, maybe under a tutorials page, is really, really easy to implement. So let's go ahead and now take a look at how we can include playlists, which is pretty cool. Alrighty, in our YouTube embed view here, under our video ID, let's create another let, and let's call it playlist ID, which is also going to be a string. Now, something we're going to be doing is, because we don't know if we're going to be having a video ID or a playlist ID, is we're going to use the question mark to make these optional. Cool, and we're going to have to handle a case now if it's a playlist ID or if it's a video ID. We can even see that we're getting a little bit of an error here within our function. So under our update UI view here, we're going to go ahead and say let embed HTML. It's going to be a string value. We are going to get an error because it's invalid redeclaration. And we're going to go ahead and wrap this in an if let statement. So if let playlist ID equals playlist ID. And we're going to take this brace here and we're going to wrap all of this HTML code in here. So right before this web view here, we're going to add our closing brace. It might be easier to just highlight, right click, embed in, and then we're going to go ahead and say else if let video ID. So we're handling the case of video IDs equals video ID. We're going to add a brace here. And within this kind of bracket here, we're just going to copy and paste what we've already created here. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up this code just a little bit. It's a bit easier to read. So essentially, if it's a playlist, it's going to embed a full playlist from YouTube. And then in our else if, it's going to embed a single YouTube video. Outside of our else if, we're going to create one more else statement here. And this is going to be our embed HTML equals our string here. And this is going to be a HTML body. We're just going to add a P here and say no video or playlist is selected. We're going to close off that paragraph, close off that body, and close off that HTML. Cool. And we just need to remove the let statements on these embed HTMLs because we've already established the let up here. We can see we do have an error here because within our playlist ID we have the video ID. So let's go ahead and update this to instead be playlist ID. And because we're not just embedding a single YouTube video, we need to, within our embed here, right before our playlist ID, we're going to do video series question mark list equals, and then that's where our playlist ID is going to be going. And we can remove this plays inline equals 1. Alrighty, and when we created our YouTube video items, well, why don't we also create a structure here to create YouTube playlists. And this is also going to be identifiable. We're going to have our UID. We're going to have our ID, title, and playlist ID. So let ID equals UUID. Let title is going to be a string value. And then here we're going to do let playlist ID. There's also going to be a string. This is unique playlist ID from YouTube. we can create a structure here, and we'll call this one YouTube playlists. I'm going to create a static let, which is playlists. It's going to equal an array, and we can use our YouTube playlist here, the title and playlist ID. So I'm going to call this one my SwiftUI videos. And for the playlist ID, it's pretty similar to grabbing the video ID. Let's head back on over to YouTube here. I'm going to go to my playlist tab here. We're going to press on the view full playlist here. And we do have the share button once again. So where we have the playlist equals, we're going to go ahead and copy that. I think almost all of the playlists, the IDs have PL in them, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go ahead and add our string here. I guess we can double check that on the next one. So comma, let's just do 2 for this one. So let's go ahead and go back. Maybe we'll do the beginner tutorials for this one. So view full playlist, press the share button. Yeah, and you'll see list equals PL, and that's the kind of code that we want. Let's go ahead and pop that in Xcode. And this one was developer tutorials. Perfect. Oh, I have an invalid redeclaration. We'll just call this one playlist list. Oh, that sounds very cursed. Yeah, let's camel case it so it doesn't look as bad. Oh, and I had made a spelling mistake earlier, so I'm just gonna go ahead and fix that. Wonderful. Okay, so we have our YouTube playlist list and we have our YouTube playlist, 2 separate structures. Cool. Now in our content view, we're going to create a let for our playlists. So we'll say let playlist equals YouTube playlist list dot playlists. Now I'm going to get tongue-tied saying that a billion times. And we can actually save a little bit of time here since we've already created the one for the videos. Let's go ahead and copy that and let's paste that. And instead of videos, we're going to do playlists and then playlist in. And here instead of the YouTube detail view, we're going to do YouTube playlist detail view. And we're going to go ahead and pass through the playlist instead of video. So playlist. Wonderful. And instead of tap to watch, we're going to say tap to watch playlist, and the text instead is going to be the playlist dot title, because that is something that we have included. Well, let's go ahead and create a new file from template, SwiftUI view, YouTube playlist detail view. Even if you want to copy and paste from the other one to save some time, you totally can. You don't have to do too much work here though. We're going to do let playlist. This is going to be a YouTube playlist. Within our text here, let's go ahead and add the playlist dot title. That's a font. I think we did like dot title last time. Let's bold it. It's padding. And then we're going to add our YouTubeEmbedView. And we're going to want the one with the video ID and the playlist ID. So the video ID is going to be nil. And for the playlist ID, we're going to set this to be playlist.playlist ID. This is going to embed our playlist. We add a frame here again, and we'll add the height. It's going to be 250. We add a spacer. Let's go ahead and wrap this in a V stack here. Our closing brace under that spacer, and we'll add a navigation title. We'll say playlists or playing playlists, and navigation bar display mode. We'll have this be inline as well. So you notice we do have an error. So we will have an error here on our YouTube detail view. It's because we're missing the argument call. So we're just going to go ahead and add that playlist ID, and we're just going to set this to also be nil. So in our detail view, these are where we're playing the videos. The playlist ID is going to be nil, which is why I made them optional. And then in the playlist detail view, the video ID is instead nil. Let's go ahead and launch this and see how this looks. Wonderful. Here we go. We have our YouTube videos. We have our SwiftUI playlists. Let's go ahead. Oh, we can see that we have our health kit one ready and good to go. And let's check out our developer tutorials here. And we can see the very start of our beginner tutorial. So if you do have a playlist that starts from the beginning all the way to the end. If you want to open up this playlist, if you want to add the kind of open up in the YouTube app or Safari within the playlist as well, maybe you can figure out how to kind of show the oncoming videos. Up to you. Let's just double check that our other video still works. Perfect, there we go. So today we built a YouTube playlist with navigation, an embedded YouTube playlist player inside SwiftUI, and a dynamic UI that supports both the videos and playlists. So next steps for you would be to add a search feature to dynamically fetch YouTube playlists from within those lists or the YouTube videos themselves. You can also support autoplay and next video queue functionality. You can track playlist progress and show a progress bar. Maybe in that workout app we talked about, if you have a playlist of different arm exercises that you want the user to use, you can track their progress within the app. Let me know what app you're building with the embedded videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Dream big, code bigger, and we'll see you in the next one. By the way, with all the videos that I've created, all of the sample apps are also available on my GitHub pages. Link in the description below. Have a wonderful day, everyone.